You press your hand against the mattress where you slept. The fabric is warm. If you lifted the mattress off the frame, which you have not done in months, you would see condensation underneath, a faint dampness where the air cannot move. You are sleeping on a sponge that holds every bit of heat and moisture your body gives off in the night, and nothing underneath can breathe. My name is Keiko Tanaka. I am 78 years old. I have lived in a small house in Kanazawa for over 50 years, and I learned a very long time ago that a bed which cannot air itself out is a bed that tires you instead of resting you. The Japanese way does not trap that heat and moisture. It lets it go. The tatami mat is not decoration. It is the foundation that solves the problem I just showed you. Tatami is woven from rush grass, and the weave itself is full of tiny spaces. Air moves through those spaces. When you lay a cotton futon on top of tatami, the moisture your body releases in the night does not stay trapped underneath. It passes through the cotton, reaches the tatami, and the tatami lets it escape. The heat goes with it. The mat breathes, and so the futon breathes, and so you wake up dry. Many people do not understand this. They buy a shikibuton because they have read it is good for the back, and they lay it directly on a wood floor or a concrete floor. Those surfaces do not breathe. The moisture has nowhere to go. Within a week, the underside of the futon is damp. Within a month, it smells faintly sour. By winter, there is mildew forming in the cotton. It is not the futon. It is the floor. This is why tatami exists. It is not about tradition for its own sake. It is about physics. Your body releases moisture every night, whether you feel it or not. A foam mattress traps that moisture inside its layers. A spring mattress holds it in the padding. A futon on tatami lets it leave. The woven rush is firm enough to support you, and open enough to let the air circulate underneath. When morning comes and you lift the futon to air it, the tatami underneath is dry, not damp, not warm, dry. That is what tells you the system is working. When the foundation breathes, everything on top of it works the way it should. Now let me show you what that futon is actually made of. A shikibuton is not a mattress in the way you think of one. It has no foam, no springs, no gel layer. It is cotton. Layers of cotton, stacked and sewn, 3 to 4 inches thick when it is new. You pick it up and it weighs more than you expect. The weight is in the cotton itself, compressed and stitched so it does not shift or bunch when you sleep on it. The layers are not glued. They are not fused with adhesive. A futon artisan lays each sheet of cotton by hand, one on top of the other, and when the stack reaches the right thickness, they sew it. The stitching runs through all the layers at once, holding them in place. You can see the pattern on the surface, rows of tufting, small knots where the thread pulls the cotton tight. The corners are reinforced, so the edges do not fray or flatten. Every seam is deliberate. When you lie down on a new shikibuton, it feels firm. Not hard, but firm. You do not sink into it the way you sink into foam. Your weight presses the cotton down evenly, and the cotton pushes back. Your spine does not curve. Your hips do not drop lower than your shoulders. The surface holds you level. A soft mattress lets your body sag into whatever shape the foam allows. A firm surface makes your body hold its own alignment. Your blood moves more easily when your back is straight. You rest in a position your body can maintain, and you wake up without the stiffness that comes from spending 8 hours curved into a sinking foam shape. The cotton does give, but only as much as it should. Press your hand into a foam mattress, and your hand disappears. Press your hand into a shikibuton, and you feel the cotton compress. Then stop. There is a floor to it. The futon does not pretend your body has no weight. It acknowledges the weight and holds it up. This is what people mean when they say a Japanese futon is too hard. They mean it does not let them sink. But sinking is not rest. The firm cotton lets your body be itself, flat and even, and after the first few nights, your back begins to remember what that feels like. Now I will show you how those cotton layers go down, one at a time, in the order that makes the bed work. You lay the tatami mat first. It goes directly on the floor, woven side up, rough side down. The mat does not move once it is placed. You do not adjust it or shift it around. Everything else goes on top of it. The shikibuton comes next. You carry it folded from the closet. Unfold it once across the tatami and smooth it flat with your hands. You press the corners down so they lie even. The cotton should cover the tatami completely, edge to edge. If the futon is too small for the mat, air moves in the wrong places. If it hangs over the edges, the weight pulls it off center. It should fit the tatami the way a lid fits a pot. On top of the shikibuton, you lay a flat sheet. This is not the fitted sheet that wraps around a Western mattress. It is a single flat piece of cloth, larger than the futon, that you tuck under the edges. The sheet keeps your body from touching the cotton directly. Cotton absorbs moisture, and without the sheet, the oils from your skin would work into the top layer of the futon and darken it. The sheet is what you wash. The futon itself you air out, but you do not wash it the way you wash a sheet. Now the kakebuton, this is the comforter, also filled with cotton, lighter than the shikibuton but still firm. You lay it over the flat sheet, and then you take a second sheet, this one fitted, and pull it over the kakebuton like a cover. The fitted sheet goes around the comforter, not the mattress. It holds the comforter in place and keeps it clean. When you wash the bedding, you wash both sheets. The cotton inside the futon and the kakebuton stays dry because the sheets protect it. The pillow goes last, a buckwheat pillow filled with hulls, not feathers or foam. You place it at the head of the futon on top of the flat sheet, and when you lie down, the hulls shift under your head and neck. The buckwheat molds itself to the shape you need, firm where you press hard, soft where you press lightly. It does not hold heat the way foam does. The hulls stay cool all night, and when you turn over, they move with you. That is the order. Tatami, shikibuton, flat sheet, kakebuton with fitted sheet, buckwheat pillow, 5 layers, each one doing a specific job. The tatami breathes. The shikibuton holds your weight level. The flat sheet protects the cotton underneath. The kakebuton keeps you warm. The pillow supports your neck without trapping heat. If you skip one layer or place them in the wrong order, the system does not work. Now let me tell you about that buckwheat pillow, because it is different from anything you have used before. The buckwheat pillow feels strange the first time you lie on it. You lower your head, and instead of sinking into softness, you meet resistance. The hulls shift under your weight, but they do not collapse. They move away from the pressure points and gather where your neck needs support. Your head rests in a shallow bowl the buckwheat has made for itself, and the shape is exactly right because the pillow built it around you. The hulls are small, dark, 3-sided pieces of grain casing. Each one is hard on its own, but together they flow like water. When you press your hand into the pillow, the hulls slide away from your palm and pile up at the edges. When you lift your hand, they flow back. They do not spring back the way foam does. They do not hold the shape of your head the way memory foam does. They simply return to a level surface, ready to mold themselves again the next time you lie down. This is why the pillow works for any sleeping position. If you sleep on your back, the buckwheat supports the curve at the base of your skull and fills the space under your neck. If you turn to your side, the hulls shift and build a higher support so your head stays level with your spine. The pillow does not fight you. It moves when you move, and it does the work of adjusting, so your neck does not have to. Down pillows are soft, but they flatten under your head, and you wake up with your neck bent at an angle. Foam pillows hold their shape, but the shape is the same whether you are on your back or your side, and one of those positions will be wrong. Buckwheat adjusts. It molds itself to what your neck needs in that exact moment, and when you move, it molds itself again. The buckwheat stays cool all night. Foam holds heat. Down traps it between the feathers. Buckwheat does not trap anything. Air moves through the spaces between the hulls, and the heat your head gives off escapes. You do not wake up with a hot, damp pillowcase stuck to your cheek. You will hear the hulls moving. When you turn your head, there is a soft, rustling sound, like dry leaves. Some people find this distracting the first night. By the third night, you do not hear it anymore. The sound is proof the hulls are doing what they should, shifting, adjusting, supporting. Buckwheat does not wear out the way foam does. Foam breaks down, it crumbles and loses its density. Down flattens and clumps. Buckwheat hulls last for years, and when they finally begin to break into smaller pieces, you simply open the pillow and pour in fresh hulls. You do not throw the pillow away, you refill it. I have had the same buckwheat pillow for 12 years, and it still molds to my neck the way it did when it was new. Now that you have the pillow and the 5 layers in place, the bed is made. But it will not stay clean unless you do one thing every single morning, and that thing is not optional. You take the shikibuton outside every morning, not once a week, not when it smells damp. Every morning, as soon as you wake up, you fold back the shikibuton, pull off the flat sheet, and lift the shikibuton off the tatami. It weighs about 15 pounds when the cotton is dry, more if the night was humid. You carry it to the porch or the balcony, drape it over the railing, and leave it in the sun for at least 2 hours. This is not a suggestion. This is how you keep mold from growing inside the cotton. The moisture your body releases in the night goes into the futon. You cannot feel it when you wake up, but it is there. A body sweats even when the air is cool, even when you do not feel hot. That moisture works its way into the cotton layers, and if you leave the futon folded or stacked in the closet all day, the moisture stays trapped. Within a week, the dampness turns into a faint smell. Within a month, mold begins to form in the deepest layers where the air does not reach. Sunlight kills mold, not just dries it, kills it. The ultraviolet light in sunlight breaks down the mold spores before they can spread. When you drape the futon over the railing and the sun hits the surface, the heat draws the moisture out of the cotton and up into the air. The top layer dries first. Then the heat works its way down through the cotton, layer by layer, until even the deepest part of the futon is dry again. You can feel the difference when you bring it back inside. The futon feels lighter. The cotton is warm from the sun, but not damp warm, dry warm, clean warm. You hang the futon so both sides get sun. If you have a railing, you drape it lengthwise so the sun hits one side in the morning and the other side in the afternoon. If you do not have a railing, you lean the futon against a wall outside or lay it flat on a clean surface where the air can move underneath. The point is to let the sun reach every part of the cotton. 2 hours is the minimum. 3 hours is better. On a dry, sunny day, I leave my futon outside from 8 in the morning until noon. On a cloudy day, I still take it outside because even without direct sun, the air circulation helps. Moving air carries moisture away. Still air holds it. If you skip this step, you will see the cost within 2 weeks. The cotton begins to smell. Not strongly at first, just a faint mustiness when you press your nose close to the fabric. That smell is mold beginning to grow. Once it starts, it spreads. You can wash the sheet, but the mold is not on the sheet. It is inside the cotton layers of the futon, where washing cannot reach. The only way to stop it is to dry the futon completely every single day before the mold has a chance to take hold. People who do not air their futons end up replacing them every year or two. They think the cotton has worn out or the futon has flattened, but the real problem is that the cotton has stayed damp so long it has started to rot. Cotton does not rot if you keep it dry. Cotton lasts for years, decades even, if you air it properly. But damp cotton breaks down, the fibers weaken, the futon loses its shape. I know the morning routine sounds like work. You wake up and you are already thinking about everything you have to do, and now you have to carry a 15-pound futon outside before you even have breakfast. But it becomes part of the morning, the same as brushing your teeth or making tea. You do not think about it, you simply do it. And once you see how the futon feels when it has been in the sun, how light and clean it smells when you bring it back inside, you understand why this step is not optional. Now let me show you what you do with that futon once you bring it back inside. You bring the futon in from the sun, and you do not lay it back down on the tatami. You fold it. Every day, as soon as the futon is dry, you fold it in 3 and put it away. This is not about saving space, though that is part of it. This is about letting the futon finish breathing, and letting the tatami breathe too, and letting the room become something other than a bedroom. The 3-fold technique is simple, but you have to do it correctly, or the futon will not stack evenly. You lay the shikibuton flat on the floor, long side toward you. You take the top third and fold it down toward the center. Then you take the bottom third and fold it up over the first fold. Now the futon is a third of its original length, 3 layers thick. You press your hands along the folds to flatten any air pockets, and then you carry it to the closet or stand it against the wall. The futon should stack neatly, edges even, no corners sticking out. The shikibuton folds the same way. Top third down, bottom third up. Then you fold it in half lengthwise, so it is narrow enough to fit next to the shikibuton. The buckwheat pillow does not fold. You set it on top of the folded bedding, or on a shelf. The sheets you take to the laundry. Everything else goes into the closet, or stands against the wall in a neat stack, and when you close the closet door, the bedroom is gone. This is the part people do not understand until they see it. The room where you slept is now a room where you can sit, or work, or eat, or practice calligraphy, or simply walk across without navigating around a bed frame. In a small house, every room has to do more than one thing. A room that is only a bedroom is a waste. You sleep in it for 8 hours, and for the other 16 hours it sits empty, holding a bed you are not using. A tatami room does not sit empty. You fold the futon, and the room is yours again to use however you need it. I have one room in my house that is a bedroom at night and a sitting room during the day. When I wake up, I fold the futon and stack it in the closet, and I set a low table in the center of the tatami. I drink my tea there. I read there. When a friend visits, we sit on cushions around the table and talk, and the room feels open and calm because there is no bed taking up the floor. At night, I move the table to the side. I take the futon from the closet and I lay it down again. The room transforms in 2 minutes, and it transforms back in 2 minutes the next morning. This is not about living in less space. This is about making the space you have work harder. A Western bedroom is a bedroom all day, whether you are using it or not. A tatami room becomes whatever you need it to be, because the bed does not own the room. You own the room, and the futon is just one of the things you put in it for a few hours when you need to sleep. The daily folding also lets the futon finish airing out. Even after 2 hours in the sun, the cotton still holds a small amount of warmth and moisture from the morning. When you fold the futon and stand it in the closet, air moves around all 3 sides. The moisture that is left evaporates slowly throughout the day. By evening, when you take the futon out to lay it down again, it is completely dry and cool to the touch. The tatami benefits too. When you fold the futon and remove it, the tatami is exposed to the air. Any moisture the tatami absorbed during the night evaporates. The mat dries, the same way the futon dries, and by the time you lay the futon down again that evening, both the mat and the futon are ready to do their work. People ask me if this routine feels like a burden. They say it must be exhausting to make the bed and unmake the bed every single day, to carry the futon outside and bring it back in and fold it and put it away. I do not find it exhausting. I find it clarifying. The act of folding the futon is the act of finishing the night and beginning the day. You are not dragging yourself out of bed and stumbling into the morning still half asleep. You are waking up. You are standing. You are moving your body. You are putting your hands on the cotton and carrying it outside into the sunlight. By the time you bring the futon back in and fold it, you are fully awake. The morning has started, and you started it with intention. The room you make new every morning is a room that does not hold yesterday. The bed is gone, the sleep is gone. What is left is open space, clean tatami, and a day that has not yet been shaped. That is what the folding gives you. Now let me tell you what your body feels like after you have slept this way for a week. The first night on a shikibuton, your body does not know what to do. You lie down and the cotton is firm under your back. You are used to sinking. You are used to the mattress rising around your hips and shoulders, cradling you into a shape the foam has decided for you. The shikibuton does not cradle. It holds you level, and your body tenses because it thinks something is wrong. You shift to your side. The cotton compresses slightly, but does not give way. You shift to your back again. Your spine lies flat against the futon, and there is no curve, no dip, no soft spot where your lower back can arch. You lie still and wait for your muscles to understand that this is not discomfort, this is support. By the third night, the soreness in your lower back is different. It is not the dull ache you used to wake up with, the one that stayed with you until mid-morning and never fully left. This soreness is sharper, higher up, between your shoulder blades and along your ribs. Your body is adjusting. The muscles that have been holding you in a curved position for years, compensating for a mattress that let you sag, are now learning to release. The futon is doing the work those muscles used to do, and they do not know yet that they can rest. The soreness is not injury. It is your body remembering what straight feels like. By the end of the first week, you wake up and your back does not hurt. You stand, and there is no stiffness in your hips, no need to stretch and twist before you can walk normally. Your body is aligned when you sleep, so it is still aligned when you wake. The mornings feel different. You do not drag yourself out of bed. You simply wake, and you are ready to stand. The room feels different too. You fold the futon and put it away, and the space where you slept is now just open floor. There is no bed frame taking up half the room, no headboard against the wall. The tatami is bare, and the room is light and empty in a way that makes you breathe more easily. You realize how much space a permanent bed takes, not just in the room, but in your mind. A bed you cannot move is a bed that defines the room. A bed you fold and put away is just one thing you use for a few hours, and then the room is yours again. The daily ritual becomes satisfying. You wake and you fold the futon. You carry it outside, and you drape it over the railing. You make your tea, and while you drink it, the futon is drying in the sun. You bring it back in, you fold it again, and you put it in the closet. The room is reset. The day has started clean. At night, you take the futon out, you lay it on the tatami, and you smooth the layers into place. You are not just making a bed. You are preparing the space where you will rest, and the preparation is part of the rest. By the time you lie down, your body is calm because your hands have done the work of creating order. After a week, you notice you are sleeping longer. Not because the futon is more comfortable than your old mattress. It is not more comfortable. It is firmer, and firm is not the same as comfortable. You are sleeping longer because your body is resting more deeply. The firm surface keeps your spine aligned, and your muscles do not have to work all night to hold you in place. The buckwheat pillow shifts when you turn, so your neck is always supported. The cotton breathes, so you do not wake up damp and overheated. You sleep, and your body does what sleep is supposed to do. It repairs itself, and it rests, and in the morning you wake up rested. The satisfaction is quiet. You do not wake up thinking about the bed. You wake up thinking about the day. The bed has done its work, and now it is folded and put away, and you are standing in a room that feels open and clean. That is what a week on a shikibuton gives you. Not comfort, clarity. Now let me tell you what happens when winter comes and the air turns cold. When November arrives in Kanazawa, the air turns cold enough that you see your breath in the morning. The tatami is cool under your feet when you wake up, and the thought of sleeping on thin cotton starts to feel impossible. This is when people worry the Japanese bed will not keep them warm. But the system does not fight winter. It adapts to it. You add layers, not a different futon, not a thicker mattress. You add a second shikibuton on top of the first one, heavier cotton that traps more warmth. The two comforters stack, and between them you place a thin wool blanket if the night is especially cold. Under your body, beneath the flat sheet, you lay a second sheet made of flannel or soft wool. This undersheet sits between you and the shikibuton, and it holds a layer of warmth close to your skin. Your body heats the undersheet, and the undersheet radiates that warmth back to you. The cotton underneath stays firm. You have not changed the support. You have only added insulation above and below. The tatami still breathes. The air still moves through the woven rush, even with the extra weight on top. The moisture your body releases still passes through the cotton layers, reaches the tatami, and escapes. The difference is that the warmth stays closer to your body because the thicker shikibuton slows the heat from leaving. You are warmer, but you are not damp. The system still works. I add a third layer some nights. On the coldest nights in January, when the wind comes down from the mountains, I take a thick quilt my mother made and lay it over both shikibutons. The quilt is old, patched in 3 places, filled with raw cotton that has compressed over the years into something dense and heavy. That weight holds heat in a way thin blankets do not. Western beds do not adapt this way. A foam mattress or a spring mattress is the same in summer and winter. You cannot make it breathe more in summer or hold heat better in winter. You can add blankets on top, but the mattress itself does not change. If the mattress traps moisture in summer, it traps moisture in winter too, and now that trapped moisture is cold instead of warm. The Japanese bed adapts because every piece is separate. You can add a layer or remove a layer depending on what the season needs. In summer, I sleep with 1 thin shikibuton and a cotton sheet. In winter, I sleep with 2 heavy shikibutons, a wool undersheet, and sometimes the quilt. The shikibuton stays the same, the tatami stays the same. Only the top layers change, and those layers are easy to add or remove because they are not attached to anything. The buckwheat pillow does not need adjusting. It stays cool in summer, and it does not get cold in winter. The hulls do not hold temperature the way foam does. They stay neutral, and your head warms them slightly where it rests, but they do not trap that warmth and turn hot. Even with two thick comforters, even with the quilt, the pillow feels the same. People ask me if I feel cold getting up in the morning when the room is unheated. I do feel the cold. The air in the room is the same temperature as the air outside, near freezing on the coldest mornings. But I do not feel the cold the way I used to when I slept on a soft mattress. I wake up and my body is warm from the layered cotton. I sit up and the cold air touches my face, but my back is not stiff. I stand and my knees do not ache. The firmness of the shikibuton kept my blood moving all night, even under the heavy blankets, and so my body is awake and ready to move, even though the room is cold. I fold the bedding in winter the same way I fold it in summer. I remove the quilt first, then the two kakibutons, then the undersheet. I fold each one separately and stack them in the closet. The shikibuton I take outside, even in January, even when it is snowing. The sun is weaker in winter, but it is still there, and the futon still needs to dry. If the snow is heavy, I drape the futon over a railing under the eaves where the sun can reach it, but the snow cannot. If the day is cloudy, I hang it inside near a window where the air moves. I do not skip this step just because it is cold. A damp futon in winter is colder than a dry futon in winter. Dampness pulls heat away from your body. Dryness holds it. The morning routine does not take longer in winter. It takes the same amount of time. You simply fold more layers. By the time you have stacked everything in the closet, your hands are warm from handling the cotton, and the room is open again, ready for the day. This is how the Japanese bed works in winter. It does not resist the season. It adjusts to the season. You add the layers the cold requires, and the foundation underneath, firm cotton, breathing tatami, stays the same. You wake up warm and supported, and in the morning you fold it all away and the room becomes yours again. Do you struggle to sleep, or does your back hurt in the morning? Tell me in the comments what makes rest difficult for you. There is a video coming soon about caring for tatami mats as they age, how to clean them, when to replace them, what damages the rush, and what keeps it breathing for decades. It is the natural next step after today. If you learn to make this bed, you learn to honor the cotton and the mat and the morning routine that keeps them both alive. The people who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember.